Hi, everyone. I am Kristen Morrison. I am the founder of Six Figure Pet Business Academy and the creator of the Prosperous Pet Business Online Conference. And I'm here with Yvonne DiVita, and she is a professional blogger. She's also co-founder of BlogPause, which is a media company and an annual conference. And I just want to welcome you so much, Yvonne. Thanks for being here.
Oh, Kristen, thank you. This is exciting. This is really exciting for me. I'm so happy to be here.
Wonderful. And so we're going to be talking about the truth about social media and pet blogging, and let's just dive right in. So is pet blogging a recognized network or just a few folks who write, about pets?
Well, it's interesting because within the blogosphere, as we call it, the great big world of blogs, people seem to think pet bloggers are in the minority. And really, there are thousands and thousands of them, and BlogPause has just scratched the surface of it. The reality is pet bloggers include people who write about their pets, not exclusively, but occasionally. And then there are the members of the BlogPause community who write on a regular basis, daily sometimes, either about their pet or in the voice of their pet. So when we talk about the pet blogging network or community out there on the internet, it's really quite large. The world of the pet parent is a $55 billion industry.
It's incredible. I know. I mean, I think that's why pet businesses are doing so well because, people love their pets and
they do.
Yeah, and so we're focusing today on pet business owners and how they can, increase their exposure through blogging. And what do you recommend that pet business owners write about so that they can create more business, gain exposure?
They should write about the things that they're passionate about and the things that mean something to them. So for instance, I was talking recently with a pet walker, pet sitter, someone who takes care of other people's pets. And I said, you might do really well with video. So you're going to send me the pet parent pictures every day. That's what my pet sitter does. I go on a trip and every day I get pictures of the pets. So I know they're being well taken care of. And sometimes the pet sitter will caption the pictures. And so we're talking in a case like that, it might be video and images because they're so powerful. Someone else might have a business where they want to attract certain pet parents or certain pet brands. So they're going to write about things that are important in that area of business. You need to be able to be focused. You need to understand who your audience is, and you need to be able to connect with them. So when it comes to what should they write about and what are pet bloggers writing about, it runs the gamut. They'll write about nutrition, health and welfare. They'll write about silly things their pets do. It runs the same gamut of, let's say, mommy bloggers who write about their children because we think of our pets as children.
That's great. Yeah. And, I do a lot of coaching with pet business owners and I talk to them about, because a lot of them are stumped about blogging. Like, what do I actually write about? I don't know. And one of the things that I found when I was running my own pet care company is that my clients, my pet parent clients, loved it when I would write a blog post about their particular pet.
Yeah.
It would often go viral. And sometimes what I would do is I would write it from the perspective of the dog or the cat, what do you like most about your life, and then they would respond. I would write it, but it would be in the dog's voice. They would talk.
Yeah. We're all anxious to get inside that dog or that cat's head.
Yeah.
And we think that we can. And it's sometimes pretty comical and entertaining when a pet blogger is really talented at creating content from the voice of the pet. I just would caution them not to get too much into the voice of the pet and start creating this whole new language, because the average person or the average brand that might want to engage with them might come and say, I can't even read this because it's such gobbledygook. But I think our pet bloggers have really graduated to that level where sometimes they'll write in the voice of their pet on their blog, and then other times it's their voice because it's a more serious topic or because they're relaying information they want everybody to understand. And then they want to get funny again, or they want to get, create something that really hits people in the heart. So they'll go back to the voice of their pet. But I do also want to say that pictures and video, the web is an image-based platform, and people need to understand how to make good pictures, how to make good video, and you don't have to have a lot of fancy equipment. And they need to understand that occasionally pictures and video will be more engaging than just a long scrolling post on a blog.
It's true. And a lot of people will just write on and on and on, and that's really not a successful method to do it, because we're so inundated with words and text these days. So I really appreciate you bringing up video, bringing up pictures, and what tips would you give for those bloggers that want to take pictures of pets and have them be successful pictures?
Well, we just had a session this year at BlogPaws 2015 on how to use your phone successfully. I'll admit I didn't get to attend that session. However, it will be up online soon. We'll have a lot of the sessions and we'll share from the speakers. But I do know that when you're taking pictures of your pet, Robert Semro, who is one of our videographers, he says get down on the floor, get down on the ground, get down face to face with the pet. Another thing is, if you have your phone, you want to hold it this way, not this way. So take your pictures this way, not this way. And don't be afraid if the picture isn't perfect. The medium that you're using, A, your phone, and B, your blog, is not meant to be professional. It's not necessarily meant to convey something like on a big website from a major brand. They tend to go out and do a lot of their own. But then when they come to BlogPaws and they want bloggers, they want the authenticity, and the authenticity comes when you see your pet doing something and you manage to get down there and get that shot.
Yeah, it's great. I love that. I mean, both turning the phone horizontally, and then also, what you said, getting down on the floor.
It's so funny because I am the worst, the very worst picture taker when it comes to the pets. And part of it's because as soon as my pets see the phone come out and they feel like I'm going to take a picture, they move away. But in the end, if you can get down on the floor with them, suddenly it doesn't become this thing you're pointing at them, no matter how small. Suddenly it becomes, oh, is this a game? Are we playing a game? I would like to play a game. So you can use treats, you can use getting down there on their level, and basically the more you do it, the more they'll get used to it. I will tell you that when Tom and I take our two dogs for a walk, we're here in Colorado. So we're in an area where there's some beautiful views on our walk. And sometimes we'll just take a picture of the view. So I can write a blog post and include that picture, and it doesn't have a pet in it. But what I'm doing is conveying a story, and part of the story might include the view.
It's great. Yeah, and the visual, like you said, is just so important.
Right.
You want to see that. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And so how does somebody make money from pet blogging? A lot of pet business owners out there are probably wondering, how do I do that? How can they do that?
Yeah, it's interesting. So that goes back to the story of how did BlogPaws get started? I'll be honest with you. 6 years ago, when myself, Tom, my husband, and Caroline Gollan were at a women's blogging conference together as pet bloggers, there were a number of other pet bloggers there. And I'll tell you, I had been to the conference before. In fact, I had spoken at that particular conference in the past. So it wasn't anything new to me, but it was sure new to these pet bloggers. They were watching all of the major consumer brands fall all over themselves to talk to these bloggers. And we sat at lunch and I said, oh yeah, some of those bloggers get paid and some of them are making a pretty penny because they're brand representatives of one sort or another. And they were like, well, how can we do that? Why aren't the pet brands all over us? And lo and behold, Tom and I and Caroline got on the phone afterwards, a couple days after the conference, and said we should do that because the pet bloggers do deserve to be recognized as influencers, and they should be connecting to the brands. And we launched Blog Pause. We had a conference. The brands got excited about it. The bloggers got excited about it. So the way that you make money is, let me give you a few points. First, you have a good blog. A good blog means you've looked carefully at the design. It isn't something that's just been thrown together like an old suit.
Yep.
You post consistently and you have a voice. So you don't post about 2,000 different things on a regular basis. You post about 1 or 2 or 3 different things and you're consistent. Third, you have engagement. That means you've built an audience. They're coming to your blog. They leave comments. They visit you on Facebook. So that's another one. You have a social presence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So you build and put all of those things together. And guess what? It becomes a little bit of a job. It's not something you do 25 minutes a week. Now, you can do it part-time and be attractive to brands and come to Blog Pause and join our community, and we will include you in the opportunity to do programs, and you can make money. But the bloggers out there in any network making the most money are putting the most effort in.
That makes sense. I mean, a lot of pet businesses, they've got a lot going on. So I'm imagining most pet business owners out there who are watching don't want to make their blog the full-time job, although, you know, there may be some. So what I've done on my blog is, you know, I have ad space available. So some advertisers will advertise on there, and that can be a nice way to make some passive income, you know, on your blog. But
advertising and affiliate marketing can also be part of it. Let me just say, though, that many of the businesses in the pet world have expertise that the average blogger or the average pet parent rather needs. They need to hear from the pet businesses because they're doing that every day, whether it's pet sitting or some kind of toy or a new treat. They're out in the world of the pet, and the average pet parent is going online looking for information. So having a blog is a great way to connect with them. And that's another way for you to make money is when that happens, you grow your traffic. When you grow your traffic, you can do, as you said, have advertising in the sidebar, become an affiliate, many different ways.
Yeah, that's great. And I love what you said about, you know, the pet business owners really being, a lot of you out there are very knowledgeable about pets, about housebreaking puppies, about grooming tips, you know, whatever it is that you see that is an issue or a pain point with your clients is a great thing to blog about because it's really going to help. And so just to begin writing, and how long should a post be? Because like I said, and we've talked about, a lot of people go on, and it's not really about that. How long should a good blog post be?
There's no set length. You can do 3 pictures and a couple of captions and get your point across. Or if you have a more substantial topic, so for instance, you want to talk about the dog flu. The dog flu has been in the news a good bit in the last few months, and you want to give your take on the dog flu and talk about how you met with your veterinarian and interviewed your veterinarian. That could be a post that's 500 to 1,000 words or more. So the answer is it's as long as it needs to be. So each post is as long as it needs to be. And I've been blogging since 2004, and we used to say that quite a bit also. We tried back then to make the posts a little more substantial so they would be authoritative. But today, because blogs are so popular and so many people read them, you can land on a site today and it's a blog and you don't know it. So it's as long as it should be.
Okay, great. Good to know. And so how is blogging raising the influence of the pet parent? How is it influencing the pet parents out there?
Well, today, more and more brands, and when I say brands, it isn't just pet brands, it's consumer brands also, because one of the things that we discuss at Blog Pause is the fact that in the end, as a pet blogger, I use all the same consumer brands as anybody else. So, you know, we're starting to work with brands that understand that pet bloggers are people first and then bloggers. And so when we look at the brand mention and we looked at how bloggers and brands engage with each other, it becomes kind of a twofold thing. I think I'm losing track of the question. Remind me what the question was so I can get back on track.
Yeah, so how is pet blogging raising the influence?
That's right. That's right. And so the influence is, it comes along there when the pet blogger, again, builds this following, continues to blog on a regular basis, has good content, and the brands, whether consumer or pet brand, say to themselves, we're looking for brand ambassadors. We're looking for people that can help us with this campaign that we're launching for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for New Year's, for whatever it is. We're looking for bloggers that understand our products and we like what you do. So the influence of the pet blogger is becoming more and more known within the networks of blogs out there and within Blog Pause, precisely because brands want more consumer involvement. And so when they look at us as consumers and they see that we're devoted to what we have created on this blog, that the blog isn't something we do half an hour a week, but the blog is something we do because we're passionate about that blog. We're passionate about the topic of the blog, as I said. When your voice is encompassing specific topics and specific things that you want to write about, that you want to share with the world, the brands are looking. And they're saying, those are really important people for us to get to know. And your influence goes up and up and up. So then you translate that into your Facebook page, into your Twitter page, into Instagram. And by the way, Instagram is up and coming.
Sure is. I just interviewed somebody that is an expert on Instagram. And it's been
fabulous.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that, because we are looking very closely at Instagram. All the brands that come to us, they want to do things on Instagram. And again, Kristen, it goes back to what we said earlier, images, images, images.
It's true. Yeah. And so what is the #1 requirement that brands want to see when they're working with pet bloggers?
Well, I'd say the #1 requirement is passion, because when you bring passion to the table, when it comes through in your writing, it comes through in your images, it comes through in everything you do. So you need to be passionate, but you need to follow that passion up with dedication and commitment. And again, we go back to, I tell people that if they want really to make money at this and they want the brands to come and talk with them and want to work with them, they need to be professional. So at Blog Pause, we're trying to teach our community and our network how to write well. It's one of the #1 requirements that we have. And write well means a little bit different on the web than it does if you were writing for a magazine. So on the web, if you're conveying a message, you can have individual sentences as paragraphs instead of putting everything all together really densely, because then it's hard to read on the web. So we want you to break it up. We want you to add some good quality pictures. And good quality pictures don't mean, again, that you have to go out and get a fancy camera. It means take them with your phone and get used to it and begin to develop a sense of this one is better than that one, and put that in your post. So when you're professional, when you're dedicated and you're committed, and the brands can see that you're reliable, it shows the reliability that you're bringing to the table, then those are the bloggers the brands come to Blog Pause for and say, we want to work with these 5 bloggers.
And what social media sites are the ones that bloggers should be really posting on?
Again, let me say, if, for instance, you're very good at Facebook, then make that after your blog, make that your baby. Doesn't mean you can't have an Instagram account or attend our Twitter chats or be participate in other ones. But you can't spread yourself too thin. And today there are so many avenues and so many channels that you could be part of. If you try to do all of them to the same level and extent and professionalism that the brands are looking for, you will not succeed. So pick one or two, make an effort to learn everything you can about them, be very, very good at making them successful, utilizing them, participating and engaging, and then maybe you dabble in one or more of the other ones. And maybe after you've gotten really good at Facebook, you move on to Twitter, because now you can, because Facebook's really easy for you now, you can do it in half the time you used to do it. Now you can go to Twitter or you can go to Instagram. So it depends on what you want to achieve. Today, as we said earlier, Instagram is the baby and the favored child, so to speak. But does that mean you should drop everything you're doing on Facebook and go to Instagram? No, it doesn't. It means that you should look long-term at what you're trying to achieve and not short-term at what you're doing today. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's great. And I just want to say to the bloggers out there who are, because like I was talking about earlier, the pet business owners are really stressed, a lot of them. A lot of you are stressed out there. You've got a business, you're thinking blogging, oh my God, do I have to do that too? Yeah. So just, start with one post every 2 weeks. I was interviewing somebody before this about meditation and mindfulness and bringing meditation into the workplace. And she was saying 5 minutes a day, start really small. And I think we can apply that here as well. It's like just start with a very short blog post and get your sea legs, so to speak. And
take the time. You know what else? We often recommend that you read other blogs. It will give you a sense of what you can do. It will also start to unleash what you want to do. So for instance, if you're reading a blog on a topic that's important to you, you may get all excited and say, I have something to say about that. Well, that's when it's time for you to start writing. And to your point, it doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be 3 times a week. We recommend once a week, but even then, if you create an editorial calendar where, let's say, you've decided you're going to put something up 3 times a week. Let's say on Monday you put that one great picture that you took over the weekend, you put a caption under it and you're done. So on Wednesday is when you write your really good post. And on Friday you put up something that you read on the web on someone else's blog and you share. And then you've got actually, maybe you spent an hour that week on your blog. So look at it from that viewpoint. Think of an editorial calendar at a magazine and they plan far ahead, 6 months ahead. You can do that. And there's lots of places, Blog Pause is one of them, that will teach you how to do that. But don't stress out on, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And if I don't do it, I'm going to fail. Not true at all. Take your time. As you said, get your sea legs. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I'm a big proponent for delegation, and I just think there are so many businesses that pet business owners can connect with that are similar but not competitors. Like pet sitters might want to look at teaming up with a local veterinarian who's got a great reputation, or a local groomer, and having them write blog posts. So that
I love that.
Because then, they're doing some of the work. The other businesses are getting some exposure. They're getting more well-known with your particular client base. And it's just a way to really make it easier. Like, how can you make your business in your life easier?
I'll tell you that the veterinary world is woefully behind. They're busy people, let's face it. So that suggestion to go to your veterinarian and see if you can't collaborate, you can help them, they can help you, because the content you're putting up there is going to be very attractive to people, pet parents, and other readers that are out there. There are lots of ways to do that kind of collaboration. I used to recommend that years ago when I was writing my women's marketing blog. I used to say, get together with 3 small businesses. So you sell scarves and someone else sells bracelets and someone else sells shoes. all of you get together on this. You know, you can promote each other, you can share the content writing, and it's a win-win for everybody. But I can tell you, especially in the veterinary world, BlogPause has worked with some veterinarians, and very few of them are blogging. It isn't because they don't want to or they don't think that they should. It's because they're a little bit afraid and they're a little bit shy, and they think they don't have the time. Then you can make the time for that and help them out.
And there might be a way, I'm just thinking about a pet business owner out there who has a very special relationship with your particular vet, whoever that might be, and maybe connecting with them and saying, hey, can I do an interview with you? And then you do this interview, and that's an opportunity to get some content, to get them some exposure, and to have, you know, a blog post that's really going to make a difference for people. Maybe you're interviewing your favorite vet once a month, you know, and about a particular topic, or just bring.
Well, you can look, Kristen. There are within the web. Every month has a theme at BlogPause, and we're not the only people that have themes. The veterinary industry has themes. So to your point, this month could be, I think February is Dental Health Month. So you interviewed them about dental health.
It's great.
You know, look online, look around at what there are on a month-to-month basis in the pet world that's being covered. The pet world is so huge. I mean, the $55 billion industry is really just the beginning. It's just the pet industry, to be honest with you. There's another bigger, wider place out there where you could write about the things going on at your local zoo. You could write about anything, you name it, if it has to do with animals. And you can develop, again, the editorial calendar kind of concept. This month is this topic, and I'm going to do 4 posts, and I'm going to lay them out here. And then, of course, the really cool thing about blogs is you can be flexible, and maybe this month you don't like that topic. Okay, then write about something you're passionate about.
I recommend, as you were talking, it reminded me of what I used to do when I had my pet sitting company, where I would write a list of topics so that when I did have a moment, I could tap into that topic so that I wouldn't have to come up with it. You know, when you have a list of 30 topics, and maybe pet food recall is something that you occasionally tap into the blog, where you're, you know, letting your clients know, or, you know, the care, whatever it might be. Yeah.
And I like that, because I think within the powerfulness of our friend Google, you can find the topics, and by writing them down and preparing them ahead of time, it just saves you so much time. I can't tell you, having 50 topics or 100 topics or whatever it is that you gather, it's just phenomenal. The other thing is, look at publications like the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, places like that. They're always covering pets. Huffington Post is always covering pets. So you can either grab some of that content and make a comment about it, or put it in your own thoughts, or you can just share the link and say, this was so fantastic, I just have to share. There's a lot of ways to make your life easier.
That's great. And I just want to say to the pet business owners out there that blogging has so many positive impacts. You know, you're connecting with your clients, you're giving them valuable information. Maybe people that you don't even know are reading it and gaining something of value. But not only that, but it powerfully impacts your business, because it raises your search engine optimization. The more posts you write, the more content you have. Google likes a content-rich website. So if you've got a lot of blog posts and you're posting regularly, that will raise your search engine optimization. So
and I also want to say, we may talk about this a little bit later, but remember your local connection. So go to a local small pet store and interview, you know, the owner. Remember that local is the new big important thing, and that's because all of us connect on a local basis. So we have these great big important networks and engagement communities and whatnot throughout the web and on Facebook and all this. But in the end, it's the people that you connect with face-to-face locally who actually are going to help support you, get you out there, get you in front of other people. And I love the way you're thinking and how having the good content raises you in Google's estimation. When you write about the same content on a regular basis, you begin to form a focus and use the same words over. Those become your keywords. You can look, and Google will help you understand how important those keywords are or what other keywords in that category are important. And now you have looked at ways to enhance your web presence. And the reason blogs are so popular is because on a one-to-one basis, they're usually updated more than a website. So Google loves fresh content.
Yeah, really. And, you know, there's often, for most blog platforms out there, there's the ability to add categories and tags. And I just want to emphasize the importance of really using those and using keywords that your clients are going to see. And that's going to bring you up higher too.
Yeah, and you also want to add your blog URL to your printed materials or whatever else you're using to market.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. So what is the next big thing in the world of pet blogging?
I think the next big thing in the world of pet blogging is the local connection I talked about. I think the brands and BlogPaws are eager to help form the local community. And so one of the things we haven't touched on that's very important in the pet blogger world is the support of shelters and rescues. So when we talk about shelters and rescues, we're generally talking about those smaller local efforts, whether it's a local humane society, which we often, that's where we got our pets from, our Longmont Humane Society, or whether it's a small rescue shelter that only takes in, let's say, Boston Terriers. That's, again, it's where we got our Boston Terrier. And in the end, that's where I think a huge opportunity sits, because we have these many, many bloggers out there, whether they're professional in their business in some other way, whether they do blogging full time, or whether it's something they do in the evening and on weekends. It doesn't really matter. In the end, that local connection brings everybody together. And when you have a local focus on XYZ and you take it to the web, in support of a shelter or rescue, or in support of passing along very pertinent, important pet industry news that you've been reading about, your local connection picks it up and supports it. And then they take it to the next level, which is their local connection, which is 2 streets over or 4 neighborhoods later. And before you know it, it's gone around the world. So I really think that that local connection and getting powerful with your local shelters, rescues, other pet businesses, pet sitting is huge, veterinarians. I really want people to start thinking local, because it will go to a national and then a international presence.
That's so well said. Well, thank you so much, Yvonne. I really appreciate your time and energy today. And how can conference attendees find out more about you and your work?
Well, they can just go to blogpaws.com. You know, everything we do is on blogpaws.com. The conference, all the pictures, all the excitement. We do have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, all of those things also. But we believe in the local connection. So blogpaws.com is our local place online where you can find out all about us. And we're looking for more bloggers. We're looking for more engagement. We really want to connect with anyone out there who has a pet business, because we know you have expertise and you have information to share. And we just think everybody's voice counts.
Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.